A very good morning and welcome back to Balla Ball. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope the next few minutes are worthwhile for you. Another big ICC tournament, another qualification for the knockout stage, and yet another disappointing one-sided loss in the knockout game. So while we've already discussed in our previous videos what led to this, why is it that the Indian team fails to get past that line in the knockout games, in the big crunch games, again and again and again. We won't delve into that right now, but let's look at a few other factors that we did not consider in the past and what could be India's test strategy and the team going forward from here on. Recently, former legendary Indian spinner Harbhajan Singh made a few comments that probably did not go too well with the Indian team and the team management, but I completely agreed with the points he made. And the very pertinent points, in my opinion, that he made were that if you look at the way the Indian team qualifies for the World Test Championship final every time and the way the Indian team plays throughout the World Test Championship cycle, you would notice a pattern. It is that there's so much pressure to qualify for the final, and to ultimately win it, that the kind of pitches that are prepared in India are such that batters are not able to survive for more than 2-3 days. And therefore what we see is that the test matches get over in 2 or 3 days every time. And India wins big, the ball turns square right from day one, and it seems like a paradise for the spinners. Thereafter, what happens? As an impact, the batters have somewhere not forgotten, but they don't have the habit of batting for a day or two, batting for those long hours and completing 100 runs, because on Indian pitches, to be very honest, if a batter plays 80 deliveries, it could well become a match-winning knock. What also happens as a result is that the fast bowlers, the Indian fast bowlers are very good at their skill, but because the pitches are such in India, they don't get to bowl a long spell of overs, and because of that they don't have the habit of bowling for 8 over spells, 10 over spells, 12 over spells. And that is what we saw in the World Test Championship final, that great bowlers like Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, Umesh Yadav, who performed very well in India and abroad in the past, aren't able to bowl for very long in a spell. And these are a lot of negatives that have impacted the Indian side due to the kind of pitches that have been prepared, due to the pressure to qualify for the World Test Championship finals every time. Also, if you see, in the test matches that take place in India that we win, we usually whitewash the series, whether it's Australia, England, New Zealand, or whichever team is touring India. But what we observe is that because the matches get over in 2-3 days and the pitches are such, it is the spinners who win us matches. It is Ravichandran Ashwin, the world's best spinner, Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel at times, who are the key wicket takers. But when we go to play the finals in England, we don't depend on our spinners that much. In fact, we almost every time drop the best spinner in the world, which is Ravichandran Ashwin. That is a different debate. We can get into that. I personally feel he should have played, and it was almost a no-brainer, but I don't know what happens behind the walls within the team management that they decide to drop him every time. Nevertheless, the fact is it is the spinners who win you matches in India because the pitches are such that turn square from the very first day. It is the batters who aren't able to bat for long because of those pitches, and they aren't able to build the muscle memory and the habit of batting long hours, batting a day and saving test matches. And thirdly, the fast bowlers do not get to bowl long spells in India, and you can't expect them to suddenly bowl those long spells in English conditions or in foreign conditions. So my point is only that what Harbhajan Singh said is a very pertinent point, and this is an Indian team. India is a country with such a large population, and if these players have made it to the top 11, they have extraordinary skills. I think they need to believe in their skills, in themselves a bit more, and play more fearlessly, play more boldly. That bold approach that we used to see under MS Dhoni in all formats, under Virat Kohli in Test cricket, apart from the big knockout matches, but all through all the series, we used to see that fearless approach. Somewhere that bold approach has been missing. Somewhere we are missing that duo of Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri. Of course, they too could not win trophies because in big crunch games, it was the same. The team used to panic. There was so much fear of failure that, of course, we have to overcome. But in general, approach-wise, I think we have to play more boldly, more fearlessly, because these are players who are the best at what they do. But if you don't win the mind game, then the skills are not going to come to save you. And just one more point, which is that this is a team that does not like practicing a lot, like net practice and practice before the games, also playing tour games that used to happen earlier. It doesn't happen anymore. So somewhere there's a bit of complacency, there's some bit of arrogance, and I know a lot of fans, a lot of viewers might not like hearing this, but that is the truth. Somewhere we don't practice as much as we should. And I'll give you an example. Sachin Tendulkar's last test match, the last cricket game that he played for India against West Indies in a home game. He couldn't get 100 in the first innings, and it was almost certain that India is going to win that match by an innings. So India would most likely not have to bat in a second innings. Yet, what did we observe? We observed that Sachin Tendulkar was batting in the nets, preparing for a possible second innings. You know, even when he was asked that why are you preparing, why are you practicing in the nets, you probably have already played your last innings, there's no chance that you're going to have a second innings. His answer was that what if we do, what if I get to bat for one last time? That is why I'm preparing, I'm prepping in the nets. Just imagine a man of the stature of Sachin Tendulkar, of the technique of Sachin Tendulkar, of the records of Sachin Tendulkar. He doesn't need to practice, he has everything. Yet he chose to practice because he respected the game, because he knew that he is not bigger than the game. Whether today's players think so or not, I don't know. I'm not inside their heads. But this is one observation that I think practice needs to be taken a bit more seriously than it is right now. That is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.